welcome to today's class. Today our topic is fractions, and we are taking fractions from page 73, unit 7 from our textbook. So when we say fraction, what is the meaning of fraction? Fractions means a portion of a bigger entity, okay? So when you have something and then you take a portion of it, we call it fraction. So let's look at our diagrams that we have here to explain what actually fraction is when we are dealing with figures. Okay. So first of all, we have one whole box that has been divided into 4 different sections. So the whole of this figure is one whole, and it is divided into 4 different sections. Because it is divided into 4 sections, it becomes 4 parts out of one big whole. But the parts that we want to give out is one has been striped red. So if we are giving this portion out of the 4, it means that we are taking one side of the 4 portions. So it becomes, this is equal 1 over 4. So which means that we are taking only one portion out of the 4 divisions that we have. So the portion that we've shaded becomes 1/4 of the one whole that we are dealing with. Okay. Now let's look at our second example. It's the same one whole rectangle or one whole item that has been divided into 8 smaller sections. So each section represents one portion of the 8 portions. So to take a fraction of what has been selected red, it means we are taking 2 out of the 8 smaller boxes over here. So the fraction of this section that we have indicated red becomes 2 out of the total that is 8. So 2 out of the total 8 becomes the fraction for what has been shaded. Okay. The same one whole, this time around, it has been divided into 16 sections. 16 sections. So we are looking at a portion that has been shaded red. If you look at our diagram, we have shaded 4 parts out of the 16. So the total of our division here becomes 16. But how many have we shaded here? We have shaded 4 portions. Okay, we have shaded 4 portions. So we'll put our 4 portions here. So if you look at our diagram, the 1/4 of this one whole is the same as 2/8 of this one whole, and is the same as 4/16 of our one whole. So in short, you can write that 4/16 is the same as 2 over 8, and is the same as 1 over 4. So this is how our fraction looks like when we are looking at its equivalent. So 1/4 is equal to 8 is the same, equal to 4/16 is the same. Now let's see how we can simplify our fraction. Assuming we have 4 over 16. So now we have 4 over 16, and we want to simplify our fraction to the smallest units. How do we do that equation? First of all, you have to identify a variable or a number that can divide the denominator and that of the numerator. So first, you have 4 as your numerator, and then you have 16 as your denominator. So what number can possibly divide both sides? On the simplest note, we can say that 2 can divide 4, and 2 can as well divide 16. Okay, So if 2 is dividing 4 and 2 is dividing 16, this will change. We'll have 2 here, and then this will move also to be 8. Okay? So if you look at our equation now, we have moved one step from 16 to 2 out of 8. So which means we are simplifying our fraction from this section onto this section. Again, we can still reduce or simplify this fraction into a smaller unit so that we will arrive at 1 out of 4. So the same way, we also divide here by 2, and then we divide here by 2. So this will give us different values. This will give us 1 here, and then this is going to give us 4. So if you look at this equation, we have simplified that of 4 over 16 to 1 over 4. So anytime you are doing a simplification of fraction, you think about a single number that can divide the top number, which is the numerator, and then the down of the down number, that is the denominator. When you are able to identify a common number that can divide the top one and that of the down one, you go straight away and do your simplification to the next stage. So it also means that 16 over 4, and then 2 over 8 and 1 over 4 are all the same in terms of fraction. Okay? I hope this is very simple for you to do whenever you are doing simplification of fraction. We will go to our first activity on this video, and we can find it at page 74. We are doing simplifying fractions. There are 4 questions there, so we do question 1 up to 4. It all comes with 1A, 1B up to C. You'll find this exercise at the learner's book section of your textbook. I'll see you in our second video with our second task. Goodbye. Hello students, welcome back to our second video on our topic fractions. We have looked at fraction, which is a portion of one whole, and taking part of it. So how do you do your fractions? Fractions can be done when you are taking one part of the big whole. You can take 2 parts of the big whole, or when you are taking 4 parts of the big whole. So per the number of divisions that you have done, that becomes your denominator, and then the portion that you are actually taking out of it, a lot, becomes your numerator. Okay, so the numerator is always the top one, and the denominator is always your down figure. Simplifying fractions always means that you have to consider your numerator and that of your denominator. Okay, so as we did with the first session of our video, we're going to do a similar example on the second video, how we can reduce a fraction whenever we have a fraction. So our first example that we're going to have on example 2 is we have 12 over 18, and we have to simplify. Simplify means we are making our numbers smaller, because 12 and 18 are big numbers, so we want to make them smaller numbers. Okay, so always the first thing that you have to think about is a number that can divide the top one and then divide the down one. You can always start your thinking by smaller numbers like 2, or any smaller number that is possibly can divide the top one and then that of the down one. It makes your work very easy for you. But as you get more experience and understanding, you can go straight getting the bigger numbers to reduce your fractions. Okay. So 12 over 18, we can divide here by 2, and as well we can also divide here by 2. Okay, so this will give us different values. This will give us 6 up here, and then this will give us 9 over here. Okay, so if we look at our new values that we have, having 9 and then that of 6. We cannot divide this by 2 anymore, unlike we were able to do over here. So now, since 2 is not going to work, you think about the next number that can divide both the numerator and that of the denominator. So we can think about 3, right? Okay. So this time around we will divide here by 3 and as well divide here by 3. So our new value here and then new value here. This will give us 2 and then this will give us 3. So we will have 2 over 3. 2 over 3 is equal 9 over 6 and it's also equal 12 over 18. It's the same. They are all equivalent. Okay. So now let's look at our second example. We have 6 over 10. Our numerator 6, denominator 10. Okay, so we always think about the smaller number that can reduce or divide both the numerator and that of the denominator. So let's think about 2. Okay, so 2 will go here, 3, and then 2 will go here, 5. So we'll have 3 over 5. I'm sure you agree with me that there is no number that can divide 3 and also the same number can divide 5. So which means we have to end here. And this becomes our simplification of this fraction. So this fraction, this fraction becomes our stopping point. So which means we have simplified this one from this one. Okay, so that is why how you should always do it. We divided this by 2 and this one by 2 just as we did up here, and then we have our final answer. Okay, so let's move to our second activity on this video. We are doing times 2. We are still doing simplification or simplifying our fractions. We will pick our exercise from page 39. We are doing questions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You will see this exercise at the Skills Builder section of your textbook. So I want you to provide me answers on these questions so that we can move to our third video. Thank you. See you in our third video. Welcome to our final and third video on our lesson fractions from page 73, unit 7. We've looked at fraction as dividing one whole into many portions and taking some part out of it. So in overview, we have one whole here that has been divided into 4 sections and we took one part of it. So taking one part out of the 4 becomes 1 over 4. If you also have 8 portions and you take 2 out of it, it also becomes 2 out of 8, so which is 2 over 8. The same one portion or one whole has been divided into 16 portions, and 4 has been taken out of the 16 portions, so it becomes 4 over 16. So this is how you create or you make your fractions out of a whole that you have. When fractions are also given, some of the fraction numbers can be a little bit bigger. So you have to find a way of simplifying your fractions all the time. And from the first episode, we did an example of how you can reduce your fraction from bigger numbers up to smaller numbers, as well as the second video. So looking at what example that we have on our board at this moment, we have 12 over 18, and we needed to reduce our 12 over 18 fraction into a simplified form. When we say simplified form, it means that we are making it smaller, because 12 is big, 18 is big, so we bring it to the smallest possible numbers of fractions that we can make. First of all, you have to think about smaller numbers to divide your big numbers so that your work becomes more systematic and easy for you to handle. So first we talked about dividing our numerator and that of the denominator by 2. And then 2 can divide 12 by 6 and divide 18 by 9. In the same way, getting to this point, we realize that at this point 2 cannot divide our numerator and that of the denominator. So we have to think of a different number. So 3 becomes a possible number that can divide our numerator and that of the denominator. So 3 divide 6 by 2 and divide 9 by 3. So this is the answer that we have there. We also went ahead to do one more example with 6 over 10. And always you think about the smaller number that can divide top and down. 2 can divide our 6 by 3 and 2 can divide 10 by 5. When we got to this point, there is no number that can divide our 3 and 5. So whenever you get to a point that you can no more divide the top one and that of the down one with the same number, it means that that is your end point of simplification of your fractions. Okay. Now, to close our lesson on fraction for today's class, there is a homework that you need to do to keep you a little busy and a little focused on your fraction lessons. So we'll do simplifying fractions at page 41 from our challenge book part. So you can see this exercise at the challenge book session, okay? So we'll see this at challenge book session. At challenge book session, we are doing questions 1, 2, and 3. We are doing questions 1, 2, and 3, exercise 7.1. I hope to see you next week in math class. Goodbye.